This is Mark Nacareto, the creator of The Romulan War, a Star Trek fan production, and this is my Trekzone conversation.
Mark, thanks so much for joining me on today's show.
Thank you, Matt.
And there is someone else on the line as well, Aaron Vanderkley, a good friend of the show and a good friend of mine, joining me from Perth. Aaron, thanks for your time today, man.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Now, we're playing around with a bit of audio. There is something going on in the background there, but that's okay. We're going to get through this because, Mark, you've got some pretty exciting news, haven't you?
I do. We want to talk to folks about, of course, we've been working on this film here in the U.S. called The Romulan War now for going on a year. We've been doing a lot of work, and we did an Indiegogo campaign, and we were able to successfully hit our goal. But the news I want to talk about today is this great new additional footage that Aaron has stepped up and worked with us to produce, and we're going to be adding some more footage to the Romulan War.
Well, Aaron, I'll bring you in now, and can you tell us a little bit about your contribution to this fantastic fan film?
So basically, I suppose the story starts off with Mark sent me a Facebook message when we did, I think, Good Men, and was like, hey, man, you did a really great job on your film. I would love to talk Trek with you. And I was like, what the hell? Let's have a Skype conversation. And we chatted about Star Trek, and he was telling me about what he was doing with the Romulan War. And he showed me some amazing, amazing CGI that I looked at twice. And I was like, hang on a minute, is this from Enterprise? It's legit. There's something about there's a little sort of glow, a little haze on the Enterprise sort of CG effects. And that was there in the content that Mark's produced. And it's amazing. And we sort of had the same passion for Enterprise, which is cool. I was telling him about my Starbase One film, and he was like, it'd be great if we could have a sort of joint continuity about the Romulan War and what takes place. But unfortunately, I had sort of already started writing and designing for that film, so I couldn't sort of change it at that point. But in the end of the edit, I actually deleted most of the references that Mark perhaps disagreed with, which is fine. So it all worked out in the end. Yay, continuity. But yeah, so
yes.
Mark contacted me after we did Starbase One and was like, it'd be great if we could use some sort of B-roll footage that you had in that. And I was like, let's, if I'm putting up the set, let's do some more. And that's how it kicked off.
Well, fantastic. I have seen a little bit. It is available on your website, Mark. But Aaron, tell us a little bit about the scenes that you're hoping to shoot. So we've got some crowd multiplication type things. So there's a crowd of Romulans watching a speech, and so we need to have people on green screen. For that in different sort of civilian costumes. There's some Romulan Centurions that we're reusing the costumes from Starbase One. Had to remake some helmets, which Mark was like, I love the helmets. And I was like, I hated them, so I binned them. So I had to remake them. So that as well. Mark wanted some Makos, which was great actually, because even though the costumes that we did for Starbase One weren't exact by any stretch of the imagination, I think they look really cool. And when they've got the rifles and the patches and, there's a sort of squad of people, it looks pretty cool. So that's something as well. There's sort of two pieces to camera that we shot in the sets. And then some sort of corridor action, essentially, for a miscellaneous installation getting attacked. Fantastic. And Mark, that it just really goes to enhance your project and give it this whole new life and transcontinental contribution to it, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of the things that Aaron shot were things that were in early drafts of the script, but we just didn't think we were going to have the ability to do it. When we did all of our primary principal photography here in Nashville, Tennessee. That's where we're based. When we did all of our principal photography, we kind of ran out of time, and we never got to do a couple of those scenes. And when I was budgeting for the Indiegogo, I did not budget with that in mind. I kind of wrote those off as we're just not going to get to do those, And but then, increasingly, I just see all this great footage coming out of Aaron's facility, a studio, and it just looks so good. And I ran it up the flagpole, and suddenly we're able to pull it off. He's amenable to all that. The footage looks phenomenal, and I might add too that he got some there were only a few speaking parts, but he got some really good performances out of the actors who were required to do accents and some mild techno babble and on a very short time. And I was really impressed with the performances he got out of these actors. It's difficult to get people. It seems easy that you could get people to talk to directly to the camera and sell you, but it's not. It's actually kind of tricky to do that. Eye contact's a big deal, and the pacing, and I could hear sort of like before he rolls the tape and after he rolls the film or whatever, you can sort of hear him coaching the actors. He did just a bang up job. So we're really grateful to get all that.
I worked with Aaron for my fan film Once More with Feeling, and I found that as well, that his direction, and he is listening with a muted microphone here, so I'm sure he's got a little bit of a smile on his face. But it is fantastic to work with Aaron because he knows exactly how to get the best out of the actors, and the best part is because he loves Enterprise so much, he's very true to what we saw on the official show back in the early 2000s. Is that really what drew you to Aaron? Was his previous work?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just feel like that of most. I'm trying to think. There's of the fan films I have seen, and I haven't seen every single one, but I've seen nearly all of them. Aaron's work just continues to impress me. It really looks pro. And I know it's shot on a dime store budget, and that was always something that really impressed me with his work, and really made me call him up. Don't get me wrong, there's other fan films out there, your Axanar and your Horizon, but they're really dealing with a lot more time, a lot more budget, and Aaron just makes it work on a shoestring. It looks really good.
And I think the best part was when I was there for Starbase One to realise where he shoots it. It's in his parents' garage. Aaron, I want to bring you back in, Aaron. Is this where you shot the stuff for Mark?
Yeah, it sure was.
And the sets were still there in the patio out the back. Is that right?
Yeah, so each time we sort of do a film, we have to take the sort of sets out of storage, or as Mum and Dad call it, the patio. And yeah, so the funny thing is the pieces are sort of interchangeable, but they don't sort of fit together sort of right off the bat. So it's sort of this is probably the biggest corridor that I tried to do. We sort of based it on the derelict and then tried to make it a little wider so we could sort of fit more people down it. But yeah, I love doing corridors. I love having sort of different angles you can shoot and, different directions people can go through. And it's amazing when you sort of bring the actors through there because they're just like, oh, this is a nice house. Oh, that's nice. And then, they go into the garage and then all of a sudden they're like, where did this come from? How do you, and of course, it's lit and, we've got a smoke machine that's going. So yeah, it does look like another place, another world.
Are you planning to take over the rest of your parents' house, Aaron? I feel that you need to.
I think they think that all the time. They probably think I'm always encroaching on their home. But yeah, so no, the sets are currently still in the patio in storage, but we're going to bring them out for one more, and then that's the end.
But see, Aaron, you said that to me the last time, and here we are. So I don't think there is an end in sight, is there?
Oh. Well, I'm certainly thinking about other avenues of Star Trek canon, but for Enterprise, this might be the end.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Mark, where can people go to find out more information about the Romulan War? Because I believe you've got some trailers and some audio episodes out now.
Yeah, we have 2 audio episodes. The bottom line is just to be real, we are doing as much as we can to try and get at least one of 2 parts completed by the end of this year. But it's very CGI heavy, and frankly, Matt, you're chipping into my time here because you were working on your film with Sam Cockings, and you stole him from me. So
sorry,
I'll let it slide this time. But what we've been doing is, in the meantime, while we work on finishing the film, we've been doing some audio dramas, and we released a 2-parter. I want to say a week and a half ago, and there's going to be another one coming out here shortly. There's a series of audio dramas we've got planned. So to sort of lay the groundwork for some of the things you'll see in the movie, it will also fill in some gaps. Like if you watch the movie and here's a piece that went between these 2 scenes, and it'll become apparent whenever you listen to the audio. So all of that is available at our website, www.theromulanwar.com. Another thing I need to mention too is we were successful in our fundraiser on Indiegogo, and because of that, we are still considered to be in demand. And anyone who's not familiar with Indiegogo, in demand means that your fundraising campaign can stay open, and ours is still open. And we've recently set a new stretch goal, and we hope people would consider supporting us. And part of that is to offset what Aaron has been able to do for us in his footage. So anyway, I encourage everybody to go to theromulanwar.com. All the information, our trailers are there. Incidentally, if folks do contribute to our campaign, one of the perks is we have a separate section of the website where people can watch content that nobody else can see. So we actually have 2 or 3 other trailers that nobody has seen unless they are a backer of the Romulan War. So hopefully maybe that will incentivize some folks to come support us.
Well, fantastic, Mark. It sounds like an absolutely awesome project. The website, once again, is theromulanwar.com. And we'll get to, if you reach that stretch goal, of course, we'll get to see Aaron's work.
Hooray!
Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time on today's Trekzone Conversation.
Thanks so much, Matt. Thanks for having me on. And Aaron, it was as always, good to talk to you again.
Thanks so much for having us, Matt. And Mark, until the next bit of footage we need to film.